Prepare to have your perception shattered. Leonardo DiCaprio and P. Diddy, two titans, two legends of entertainment. One, a cinematic chameleon, revered actor, and environmental crusader. The other, a music mogul, cultural icon, and undisputed business titan. On the surface, their paths seem distinct, their empires forged in different fires. But what if I told you they've been hiding a profound, almost unsettling truth from the public for years? What if their visible success is merely a meticulously crafted facade, obscuring a deeper, more intricate web of power and influence? How did these two giants not just build million-dollar fortunes, but seemingly boundless empires? How did their wealth swell to such incomprehensible levels? And, perhaps most disturbingly, what exactly might they be planning right now, in the shadows, that the world isn't meant to know? Their stories, on the surface, diverge dramatically. Leonardo DiCaprio exploded onto the global stage, an overnight phenomenon with Titanic, a face etched into the very fabric of pop culture. Yet what few truly grasp is that even before that seismic success, he had been quietly, methodically, almost ruthlessly working behind the scenes to utterly dominate Hollywood, not just as an actor, but as an unseen architect of power. He never, under any circumstance, accepted just any role. From the very beginning of his career, DiCaprio painstakingly studied each script, each character, each director, meticulously calculating which cinematic ventures possessed the raw potential to propel him not just to fame, but to the next level of an almost mythical status. He famously, or infamously, turned down dozens upon dozens of seemingly lucrative opportunities, rejecting blockbusters and surefire hits, until he discovered the profound, challenging stories that would truly cement his legacy, making him not just memorable, but utterly unforgettable. The undeniable result? He swiftly became the most respected, most revered actor of his entire generation, forging a career path so flawless, so unblemished, it seemed almost designed by a higher power. But what the vast majority of the world fails to comprehend is that his true genius, his profound intelligence, lies not merely in the brilliant roles he chose to inhabit, but in the clandestine, almost secret investments that quietly, steadily transmuted him into a genuine multimillionaire, long before his public persona truly hinted at such wealth. While the world was captivated by Leonardo, the tormented artist, the environmental champion, he was already, simultaneously, channeling millions into cutting-edge tech companies, investing shrewdly in luxury brands, and even, shockingly to some, diving deep into the burgeoning environmental sector. Few people outside his inner circle know, but he holds significant stakes in pioneering sustainable energy companies, in exclusive, high-end watch brands, and even in disruptive startups nestled deep within the secretive heart of Silicon Valley. He wasn't just acting. He was strategically building a financial fortress, hidden in plain sight. Now, when we pivot to the enigmatic figure of P. Diddy, the narrative takes a radically different, yet equally jaw-dropping path. Diddy, born Sean Combs, burst onto the scene with the undeniable swagger of a music impresario. But with an almost prescient foresight, he quickly grasped that relying solely on the fickle, ephemeral world of music would be a grave, career-limiting mistake. His true, unparalleled talent wasn't confined to crafting chart-topping hits. It was in his innate, almost alchemical ability to transform his very image, his entire persona, into a colossal, multifaceted business empire. He didn't merely want to sell albums. He wanted to sell a complete, aspirational lifestyle. And that, my friends, is precisely how he audaciously plunged headfirst into the fiercely competitive premium beverage market, launching the now iconic CROC vodka. What was, until then, just another ordinary, unglamorous liquor brand, underwent a radical metamorphosis, soaring to become a billion-dollar empire. Why? Because Diddy, with unparalleled insight, profoundly understood the true, immeasurable value of influence. He wasn't just peddling vodka. He was expertly packaging and selling the entire glamorous, aspirational, luxurious experience that came intrinsically woven with it. Every sip wasn't just a drink. It was an invitation into his world of opulence and success. But this, I assure you, is merely the glistening surface of a much deeper, much more complex narrative. Leonardo DiCaprio and P. Diddy are undeniably wealthy, almost obscenely so. Yet, behind their staggering fortunes, behind the carefully curated public images, lies something far, far greater, something profoundly more mysterious. What is the untold story behind this seemingly unexpected connection between these two titans? Could there be a secret network of power, a hidden web of influence that they are meticulously concealing from the public eye? Now that we've begun to grasp the sheer scale of their individual empires, let's peel back another layer and dive into the extreme luxury, the veiled opulence, and the deeply secret connections that precious few people are even aware of. Leonardo DiCaprio and P. Diddy aren't just rich. They exist within an exclusive, almost impenetrable circle of power and influence, an inner sanctum that remains largely invisible to the outside world. While the masses are fixated solely on their dazzling careers in entertainment, behind the velvet ropes and closed doors, they are intrinsically involved in a complex dance of deals and clandestine networks that bind together the most influential figures on the entire planet. Their lifestyles have, for decades, drawn an almost feverish attention. DiCaprio is legendary for his exclusive, no-expense-spared parties hosted on multi-million-dollar yachts, sanctuaries where he is perpetually surrounded by a rarefied echelon of billionaires, global power brokers, and supermodels. Diddy, on the other hand, is infamous for throwing lavish, legendary events where only the most elite, the most connected, are granted entry. But what truly do these extravagant gatherings represent beyond mere celebration? For many, they are far more than just parties. They are meticulously orchestrated strategic summits, where colossal, game-changing deals are discreetly sealed, and the very future of major global businesses is determined in whispered conversations, far from prying eyes and intrusive cameras. One of DiCaprio's most potent, most veiled connections lies deep within the high-stakes world of venture capital and cutting-edge investments. He boasts direct, intimate relationships with the most influential Silicon Valley CEOs, with tech moguls who literally shape our digital future, and with venture capitalists who control trillions of dollars in global capital. His unsettling closeness to these names is no mere coincidence. It is a calculated allegiance. While the public's mesmerized gaze remains fixated on his latest cinematic masterpiece, Leonardo is meticulously ensuring his colossal wealth continues its relentless, exponential growth in clandestine projects most people have never even heard of, ventures so advanced, so secretive, they exist almost in a parallel universe. Meanwhile, Diddy has constructed an unparalleled network of influence that extends far, far beyond the conventional boundaries of music and mainstream entertainment. He forges powerful strategic partnerships with billionaires in high finance, in the exclusive world of haute couture fashion, and even more intriguingly, within global political organizations. Few people realize, but he has been intricately involved in discrete projects with high-level political figures, and he is constantly, almost religiously, engaged in private meetings with business magnates who possess the extraordinary power to shape the very trajectory of the global economy. Another deeply curious, almost unsettling point is the absolute, almost impenetrable secrecy that envelops certain events and deals in which both of them are undeniably embroiled. Numerous reports, whispered in hushed tones, indicate that both DiCaprio and Diddy are integral parts of highly private, clandestine meetings where access is granted only to the world's most powerful, most secretive individuals. These gatherings, these pivotal discussions, never, ever appear in mainstream media. They are never, under any circumstances, casually posted on Instagram. And they only truly leak to the public in the rarest, most exceptional of circumstances. Brief, tantalizing glimpses into a hidden world. Now comes the chilling, monumental question. What, precisely, are they meticulously planning in these hidden chambers of power? What profound, earth-shattering knowledge do they possess that the public, in its blissful ignorance, cannot, must not, be allowed to discover? When individuals operating at this stratospheric level of power, with such unparalleled access, forge connections, there is, without exception, always something profoundly, terrifyingly bigger unfolding beneath the surface. And the whispers, the rumors, are growing louder, that they may be intricately involved in a clandestine, long-term project so monumental, so transformative, that its eventual revelation could utterly shock the entire world to its very core. In the next critical section, we will bravely venture into the swirling controversies, the chilling theories, and the darkest speculations about what these two titans might truly be concealing, and what their ultimate true objective could be behind these enigmatic, deeply mysterious connections. Another point that relentlessly fuels the fires of speculation and raises profoundly unsettling questions is DiCaprio's pervasive influence behind the scenes of global politics and, ironically, environmentalism. Officially, Leonardo DiCaprio is heralded as one of the world's foremost, most vocal advocates for pressing environmental causes, his foundation tirelessly raising hundreds of millions for vital sustainable projects. He is the glamorous face of ecological salvation. But some sharp-eyed critics, with cynical precision, ominously point out that while he passionately preaches sustainability to the masses, he simultaneously continues to embrace and embody a notoriously high-consumption lifestyle, traversing continents on private jets, leaving a colossal carbon footprint, and attending exclusive, climate-controlled gatherings with the planet's wealthiest, most environmentally impactful billionaires. Could his highly publicized environmental activism, his virtuous public persona, be nothing more than a meticulously crafted front, a convenient smokescreen for something far, far more sinister, something much larger, operating in the shadows? When we turn our gaze to P. Diddy, the controversies surrounding him plunge even deeper into much murkier, more unsettling waters. For decades, persistent, unsettling rumors have relentlessly suggested that he maintains deeply secret, almost shadowy connections to the world of organized crime, and even more alarmingly, to high-level political figures. Some fervent theorists genuinely believe he is intricately entangled in hidden financial schemes, clandestinely leveraging his immense influence and vast network to meticulously protect his carefully constructed public image, burying inconvenient truths beneath layers of silence and misdirection. And then there are the numerous, deeply unresolved stories that stubbornly cling to his long career, particularly those chillingly tied to the tumultuous music industry of the 90s. The tragic, still unsolved death of Tupac Shakur, for instance, remains tragically shrouded in layers of complex theories and relentless speculation. And in these dark narratives, Diddy's name has been mentioned repeatedly by various sources. As someone who may possess far more intimate knowledge than he has ever publicly, officially admitted, while he has never, under any circumstance, been formally accused or charged in connection with these events, a chillingly large number of people remain convinced that he was far more intricately involved in the seismic events of the 1990s than he ever lets on. A silent, knowing presence in the heart of the storm. Another profoundly curious, almost inexplicable fact is how, at various perilous junctures in his notoriously controversial career, Diddy has managed, with almost supernatural dexterity, to deftly avoid formal investigations, to consistently evade serious accusations, all without his carefully cultivated public image suffering any lasting, discernible damage. How precisely did he achieve such an astonishing feat of public relations and legal maneuver? Could it be that he possesses vastly more powerful, deeply entrenched, behind-the-scenes connections than the most cynical among us could ever possibly imagine? The unnerving combination of these swirling controversies, these persistent whispers, has led a significant number of astute observers to firmly believe that both DiCaprio and Diddy possess highly sensitive, insider knowledge of major, world-altering global events. What do they truly know? What profound truths have they witnessed that absolutely cannot, under any circumstances, be revealed to the unsuspecting public? If there is one chilling truth that becomes painstakingly clear in their interwoven stories, it is this: the truly powerful are not those who are constantly basking in the blinding glare of the media spotlight, but rather those enigmatic figures who possess the unparalleled ability to operate with surgical precision, deep within the clandestine shadows, influencing events without ever drawing unwanted attention to their own covert maneuvers. Ultimate pressing question, the one that keeps us awake at night: what, precisely, are they meticulously planning for the immediate future? Could they be on the very precipice of revealing something so utterly monumental, so profoundly disruptive, that it might irrevocably change everything we understand about power, wealth, and global influence? In this final, revealing section, we will bravely explore the most plausible, most unsettling paths that Leonardo DiCaprio and P. Diddy might courageously embark upon, and speculate whether they are, in this very moment, preparing to execute one of the most audacious, game-changing strategic moves of the entire century. After decades of relentlessly building colossal fortunes and effortlessly moving among the most influential, most powerful people in the entire world, Leonardo DiCaprio and P. Diddy did not reach this apex by sheer accident, by a stroke of luck, or by mere celebrity. Everything, every subtle clue, every strategic decision, every veiled connection, vehemently suggests that they are not merely content to passively enjoy their unfathomable wealth. They are, with chilling precision, preparing something far, far greater, something profoundly world-altering that has not yet been revealed to the unsuspecting public. Leonardo DiCaprio has already, unequivocally, demonstrated that his influence transcends the conventional boundaries of cinema. He doesn't merely choose his films with strategic foresight. He is, simultaneously, intimately involved behind the scenes in multi-million-dollar business ventures, in sprawling environmental projects that affect entire ecosystems, and even more controversially, in global political movements that reshape nations. His investments range from high-risk, high-reward tech startups to groundbreaking sustainable energy companies, ventures that promise to redefine our future. This might superficially appear to be simple financial diversification, a prudent hedge against market volatility. But some, with a deeper, more cynical insight, firmly believe that DiCaprio is meticulously positioning himself for something far, far grander, perhaps an even deeper, more intrinsic connection with major global corporations that dictate our future, or even an overt, audacious foray into the treacherous, high-stakes world of politics, transitioning from influencer to direct power player. And then comes the truly profound question: could Leonardo DiCaprio be meticulously preparing to launch his own unprecedented, truly global initiative? Some astute observers believe he may cunningly leverage his unparalleled influence and his meticulously cultivated network to directly control a significant, powerful segment of the environmentalist narrative within the global business world, raising billions upon billions for sustainable projects that would not only consolidate his legacy, but irrevocably place him in a position of undeniable global leadership. A kingmaker in the green revolution. On the other hand, P. Diddy is unequivocally charting a very different, yet equally formidable, path. He has already definitively conquered the music industry, constructed colossal empires in the fiercely competitive beverage, fashion, and entertainment sectors, and remains, to this day, one of the most respected, most feared names in the entire business world. But what, precisely, is his next move in this relentless pursuit of power and wealth? If we meticulously analyze his entire trajectory, a chillingly consistent pattern emerges. He has always been astonishingly ahead of the curve, anticipating seismic shifts, shrewdly positioning himself long before the rest of the market even grasped what was truly unfolding. Now, with the unstoppable rise of the digital frontier, the burgeoning metaverse, and the opaque world of cryptocurrencies, there is fervent speculation, whispers of a new, audacious gambit, that P. Diddy may be on the very cusp of entering a completely new business model, intricately connected to Web3, to the immersive metaverse, or to deeply secret financial investments that precious few people even know exist. This isn't just about adapting. It's about pioneering the next wave of wealth, not the undeniable truth. Is this: neither of these two titans reach the dizzying summit of their power and wealth without a meticulously crafted, long-term plan. And if there is one profound, enduring lesson we can all extract from their intertwined, complex narratives, it is this: true, monumental success does not happen by mere chance, by a stroke of luck, or by inherent talent alone. It is painstakingly built, brick by strategic brick, with an unwavering vision, an unparalleled network of influence, and most critically, privileged access to the precise, invaluable information that remains hidden from the masses. The richest and most powerful individuals on this planet think fundamentally differently. They don't perceive money merely as money. They view it with almost spiritual reverence as a potent tool, an almost limitless resource designed explicitly to create even more opportunities, even more wealth, even more power. And if you are genuinely driven by the desire to cultivate that very same transformative mindset, to sharpen your perception, to instinctively spot lucrative opportunities where the vast majority of people are blinded by perceived chaos, then you absolutely must click the link prominently pinned in the first comment below. Discover a method that possesses the extraordinary power to completely, irrevocably change your entire perspective on money, and ultimately your very definition of success. I'll see you, eager for more insights, in the next unforgettable video.